Hey y'all, so good to see you again here on Grassroots Garden. I'm Ryan, and in today's episode, I'm going to show you guys some pet-friendly plants, houseplants in particular. We have a lot of folks coming in to the store wanting to know, hey, what can I get that won't kill my cat or dog? So we're going to run through a quick list to show you what's safe for your pet in your home, because the more you know, the more you grow. But hey, first you guys, check out my cool little neon, although it looks like it's flashing on the camera, our little neon sign we got off Amazon. It's actually just LED, but you can change the color of it. Looks kind of cool. And we put some shelves up in the background to put some plants on. Got a little desk here. Even got us a little spinny table thing, and if it had batteries in it, it would actually spin the plants around for us. So we are getting professional up here at Grassroots Nursery. But anyway, just a little area where we can bring houseplants up and kind of show you guys, tell you guys about them, and just hopefully look at them a little bit better, up close and personal a little bit more, and you guys can actually hear what I'm saying. But enough of our little makeshift studio. Let's get into the plants. I think to make this easy on myself and quicker for you guys too, I'm just going to run down the shelf and talk about each one of them. So most orchids are safe for pets, but especially Phalaenopsis are definitely on the ASPCA list, which you can just Google that and it'll bring up even more plants. But we've got a good many that you'll find in local nurseries and just stores, even grocery stores. So beautiful orchid, loves high humidity and bright indirect light, but that one again is pet safe. As well as, this is one of my favorite plants. Oh, hey, we saved him. Or actually the fern. The fern saved him. This dude fell off. Hang on, it's not your turn, buddy. Get back up there. Anyway, the jewel orchid right here. This is Macodes, and it's got such a cool pattern. If I could stay still long enough, quit shaking. Maybe I need a drink. Anyway, look at the veins, how they sparkle. Man, I'm really, it's not me. I promise I'm not shaking, it's the plant. Anyway, really cool jewel orchid. Loves high humidity than the Phalaenopsis. Actually, I've got one in a terrarium at home, and it's doing much better than out just in the room. So here's just another Phalaenopsis. They have really nice blooms. They last a long time, and you can find them just about anywhere. And then let's see who we got next. This is an Echeveria. That one is in particular black prince. So a type of sedum, super fat leaves, and usually when they have fat leaves like that, it means they can hold a tremendous amount of water and go a long time without water. And instead of me saying after every one of these plants that they're pet safe, I'm just going to tell you every single plant that I've got on these shelves is pet safe, so I don't have to keep saying that. And then this one, I believe they call it donkey's tail. I can't remember. Another type of sedum, real cool looking plant. But again, it got those super chunky leaves so it can hold a lot of water. And then spider plant is very, very common. And this one's super tough, can handle some pretty low light conditions. Doesn't like a tremendous amount of water, and you can actually propagate these really easy. So all of these will be baby spider plants. They'll kind of get roots coming off of the individual little babies there, and you can stick them in dirt and give away to your friends or just have more in the house. And we'll try to lift you guys up here. This is a Calathea or Calathea, depending on the part of the country you're in. Beautiful leaves. A lot of people call these the prayer plant because they'll kind of fold up and point upwards at nighttime. And then this is another one right next to it, and they just got really cool patterns on the leaves. They do pretty well as far as water consumption. Definitely going to take a little bit more water though than some of the previous plants we've looked at, like your sedum. And then this one probably is a really good one to have for pets, because usually they're mounted to wood, as is this one. So this is a Staghorn Fern, and it likes to be just misted periodically. But due to the fact that usually they're mounted on wood like that, that means they're going to be up off the ground and really not accessible to the animal anyway. So, but if he did get to him, he'd be fine because it's non-toxic. Then let's see, next we have our Christmas cactus, and I hope I'm not jumping around. I'm having to kind of hold the camera up. But this one's loaded with blooms. And so here in about another 2 weeks, these are going to start opening up, and they last for quite a while. Really cool plant and very festive, given the name Christmas cactus. So there's another one that's good for your pets. And this one, he's so tall, I'm going to take him down. This is what's called a money tree, and this one can really take some dry conditions. Got a nice big stalk on it. This one's actually been braided, so wherever we got these from, they actually braided the stems as it was growing. But nice foliage, really kind of adds a tropical vibe to the house. Let's see who we got on the list next. All right, next we're getting into your Peperomia. So this is a really tough house plant, nice thick leaves. This one happens to be variegated, real pretty. But they just kind of trail out of the pot, as you can see here, and make a nice pot for a shelf so that they can kind of hang down, maybe even by a kitchen window. And this one is a watermelon Peperomia right here, as you can see on the tag, and you can see why they call it that. He resembles a watermelon. So both of these guys are in the same family, just different leaf size and different leaf texture. And now that I'm actually looking at it, different leaf or stem color. So see how red that one is? He kind of contrasts nicely with this little Peperomia over here. And then next, these guys are so cool, man. I love these. These are Lithops, or living stones, they call them. Looks like a cow's hoof. And I was kind of playing with them a while ago. They feel just like the pad on a dog's paw. Like his little, I don't know, they call them toe pads or whatever, but they feel just kind of squishy like that. But these things do not like water. The quickest way to kill these is overwatering. And so some people say water only, spring and fall. But to be honest with you, I've had these for a year now, and I've had some of them out in the greenhouse, and they would accidentally kind of get sprayed as I was going through and just watering. And when I got, water them, I was like, oh crap, of course I'd pull the hose away. But they would get water periodically. And they've done just fine. In fact, they look great. I think if I were to put these at home, I would just wait for them to start shriveling a tiny bit, just looking a little dried out, before I would then take and mist the soil around them. I don't think I'd actually pour water into them. I think I would just mist the soil, and they'll swell back up. They can hold a tremendous amount of water. That's why they can go months without it. And I've never seen one flower in person. We had one flower in the greenhouse the other day, but somebody bought it before I could see it. But it's got a really cool daisy-like flower that comes out of the center of that crack. Another one that's pet safe is very popular, and a little dead leaf there. This is an African violet, and you'll find these really, literally everywhere. You can even get them at Lowe's, the grocery store, or whatever. But they're nice bloomers if you keep them happy. They do not like water on the foliage, so when you're watering them, you want to just pour the water in directly on the soil. Try to keep it off the leaves, because they will spot and rot and fall off. But African violet is definitely another cool one if you want something that's going to flower, kind of like the Phalaenopsis orchid. And then one I kind of skipped over is your Boston fern. And you'll find these everywhere in the springtime, but these are pet friendly as well. Take up a good bit of space depending on the size you buy, but most people want these in a basket for hanging on their front porch. So they're usually pretty sizable. Well, there you go, guys. There's just a couple really cool houseplants that are pet friendly, and that also will add just a nice ambiance to your house, and as well as purify the air and just green things up for you, especially with winter coming on. I know I love to have as many plants inside the house as I can get, or as I'm allowed to have. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Always remember, the more you know, the more you grow, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, y'all.